Hello, here we go. It's the Cop-Eye Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Curveball FC, Curveball Podcast. And Klopp has once again threw a curveball at the team lineup. Mick, I'm going to come straight to you. The instant reaction on that team lineup, please, my friend.
What the fuck? That was my instant reaction. If you want an honest reaction, yeah. No, I mean, I've seen that Hendo might be injured and he's not in the squad, so that looks like that's true. But apart from the rest of it, yeah, I'm happy with it. Apart from Origi, to be honest.
Okay.
I think it's a decent team, but yeah, apart from him. But yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Matt, is Klopp under a bit of pressure this week after the team lineup that he's been choosing over the past couple of weeks? Has he just hit the fuck it button now?
I think it's the fuck it button. I think he needs to change something. I think it is very apparent to most people that Mo needs to be out the lineup. Maybe for today, get him out the limelight. I think Bobby needs the same. And unfortunately, this is what we've got. I'm not too bothered about Shaq being in. I thought Shaq played really well. It's just the other one, which is weird to say about what is no doubt a Liverpool legend now, thanks to what he did in the Champions League run. But I don't like it when Div starts.
No, it's fair enough. Matt's got a point, hasn't he? The way Origi's played when he's been, whether it's been a starting berth or he's come on as a sub or anything like that, he hasn't played to his potential, shall we say? We're not seeing the Origi that we saw in that Champions League run and against Newcastle and popping up with the big goals. However, not being a fucking top red bollocks and all that sort of stuff, is this a great opportunity for likes of Ox and Shaq and Origi to really put a stamper on a starting berth, considering the way the front three has been? And it's like Matt said, it's a bit of a freshen up, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I like Origi because, like Matt said, all the stuff he's done, the goals he scored, he'll be forever a hero. But when he comes on the field with 10 minutes to go, he just hasn't got that intensity. Doesn't close anything down. He just seems a bit lacklustre. He seems a bit drained the confidence. But the rest of them, I'm made up. Ox is back in there, obviously. Him and Shaq in the same team, running at defences. They'll pick up the ball and run with it. Thiago and Gini in midfield as well. So it's a good team, but like you said, good opportunity for Origi. I just hope he takes it, because he's not gonna. He might get a few more, but if he needs to make these ones count, because I don't know how long he's going to be at the club for. So he needs to make sure he gets every last bit of juice out of his Liverpool career before he goes maybe this summer. Yeah,
true. Matip is back in the starting lineup, which is obviously a big plus for everybody.
I mean, it's great that he's back, but I would have rather rested him against Burnley, putting that Phillips in, and then defo have Matip for Spurs. I'm just a bit worried now that Matip's not going to be fit for Spurs given his record.
There is that risk, isn't there? There is that risk, isn't there?
Yeah, but I mean, having Matip back is always a positive. We can't, I suppose, live in fear all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great having him back and give a bit of solidity. He's decent in the air. We're going to need that against what is no doubt going to be long ball Burnley. But maybe, I suppose that's why we've put Div in as well, to give us a bit of physicality up top, which the usual front three don't necessarily have. So, I mean, I can see the logic with some of the people he's picked, but it's a weird lineup, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's surprising again, Mick. One of the comments that we've got from Stu Mike Mac, hello mate, nice to see you again. What does Minamino have to do to get a start? Again, it's a big question mark over Minamino, hasn't he? He played well against Crystal Palace. He hasn't been seen since. So again, you'd think doing a fresh lineup of the front three, would he have got in there? Because everyone was saying that dropping Bobby and putting Minamino in there was the obvious swap when we first bought him. That was the talk of the Twitter world. But what's the option for him? What happens now? What's going on?
I have no idea. I thought this was, like I said yesterday on the preview pod we did. It was I thought this would be a perfect game for him, because he's going to see a lot of the ball. We're going to need to be clever in the final third, and he's a player that can do that. And he proved it in the last game he played against, the last game he started against Palace, and that was away as well. Obviously, we won 7-0. That's a bit of an anomaly this year, because the last couple of games anyway, because we haven't done fuck all. But I'm hoping he'll come on maybe the last half an hour, because when you bring him on for the last 5 minutes, it's literally pointless. And Klopp's always positive about his work ethic and all that type of stuff. So I'm hoping he'll get at least a few minutes, maybe a half, and then for Origi. I'm just hoping Origi. I want Origi to do well, but I've got very severe doubt about it. He'll probably score a hat-trick now, but
I love Tacky. I want to see Tacky more involved, but I can understand him not using Tacky today. To be honest, I think it was clear that Shaq had to start after his performances lately, and he wasn't going to reshuffle the whole front three. So one of them was going to start. So it was clear Shaq was going to go on one wing. Either Mane or Salah was going to go down the other. And although I prefer Tacky to Origi, you just get the feeling that Tacky up front against Burnley centre-backs would just get bullied today. So I can sort of understand his exclusion from the starting lineup, at least.
No, fair enough. Dan, again, just put a really good point in, Mick. 4-2-3-1, Origi through the middle, bit like the 5-2. Absolutely. Remember last season, mate, we were at the game and there was the eyebrow raising onto the title. We're playing the Everton at home, and that was a very eyebrow raising lineup, wasn't it? We were all like, what the fuck's he doing that for? And it turns out it was one of the fucking best games of the season. Could it happen again?
Yeah, I just think at that time, though, we were doing so well, so we could have put anyone in there, and the feeling within the squad, within the club, was just like, we're going to win anyway. I think that but now we're kind of in a... I think it was a perfect game for Tacky today. I do hope he comes on, but I don't... Just dropping into those little gaps, because obviously Burnley are going to be really tight as a rear guard. I just think he picks up those nice little spaces that could get us a goal. But then I suppose he's got Ox and he's got Shaq in there, so maybe if he put Minamino on as well, they might be taking up the same positions, trying to pick up the ball from the same area. So yeah, I can see both sides of it, but I do hope Tacky comes on. But if Origi can perform like he did against Everton, Jesus Christ, then I'll be made up with that. But from what we've seen recently, that's why we haven't got much hope for it. But then he's obviously doing something on the training field to convince Jurgen Klopp to start him in a game like this. That, especially after the recent results we've had, we need a result. So there's a bit of pressure on him tonight to do well. I hope he does.
Yeah, I think Matt, Mick's just picked up there about the training thing. I just want to go back to Minamino. Is he not doing enough in training?
I don't think that's the case. I don't think Klopp would be as full of praise for him if he was slacking off in training. I just think that not even Klopp knows where to fit him in yet. I feel like maybe this was Brighton or a Southampton or a ball-playing side, less physical, and maybe Tacky would have started, especially with the amount of rotation that Klopp has done today. And considering Tacky's last start did come in that 7-0 win, you'd like to think that Tacky would have started. I'd like to think it's purely just because Div's more physical. But yeah, I don't think Klopp would be as full of praise for him if he was slacking off in training.
Fair enough. Mick, where's this game going to be won tonight?
I don't care. I honestly, I just want to, just like we said on the preview, we just want to win. I think dropping Salah's a bit of a bad one as well. I mean, no one's been great recently, but like Owen said there, could this be what finally like to fire up Firmino and Salazar could gain some sort of form? Yeah, it's if that happens and we win tonight, and then it proves a point that we don't need them in the team to win. I think sometimes, like we said, with Jota going out with injury, the front three kind of know they're going to win. They're going to play each week. And then there's no pressure on them in terms of who's going to take the spaces. But not tonight, Klopp's just maybe proving a point that you don't play every week just because you're a big name and you've won us all these trophies. You need to be in form. You need to be fit and fired. And if you don't, you're on the bench. I mean, he's proved it in the past, hasn't he? Where he's brought the likes of Lallana in out of the cold, where he's been out for ages, comes back in, does well. So he's not scared to shake it up. So I just hope it pays off tonight because it's a good lineup. I'm happy with the lineup. Like I said, Origi, I'm the only person I'm a bit shaky over, but everything else, seeing Ox in there, that midfield's good. Seeing Shaq back in there again is obviously promising because he's done really well lately. And yeah, I'm just hoping there's a lot of creativity, and we just get an early goal. That's what I've wanted for ages. I mean, we got one against Newcastle, or was it West Brom? We got an early goal, didn't we, in that game? But then we drifted off towards the tail end of the game. And was it West Brom? West Brom, yeah. Track. It's West Brom, weren't it?
Yep.
So I'm open. We just need an early goal, and then just go through the motions a little bit and just get a bit of rhythm back in the team, because we're a team that's we rely on rhythm in a way that where we our attacking formations going forward. There's a lot of repetition, but I'm hoping once we get one goal tonight, we can kind of just keep doing that and fucking put the ball in the back of the net, because that's what we need to do.
Yeah, that's a good point. Matt, I just wanted you to speak about what Dan just put there. Manny is going to destroy them, which again, we'll get 3 or 4 tonight. Dan, I hope you're fucking right, mate. I really do. We'll give Dan the biggest round of applause when when we go back on. I think this proves we're going strong in the FA Cup. Really, it's a good point, but also it's what Mick said as well, isn't it? That the fact that we're just got to rest people and take people out the limelight at the minute, and or the firing line, whichever way you want to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I hope Manny destroys them. And anyone watching that watched the podcast after the United game, I think it was, would have seen me say that I hope he goes full strength in the FA Cup and just gets this squad just like rolling again, like it was before Christmas. Yeah, with the Mane, with the Salah and Bobby thing, it looked like they had to come out the limelight, and I completely agree with Mick when he was talking about Owen's point, which was that we need a goal. We haven't scored in the last 3. And we need a win. And the fact that you're taking off our top goal scorer and our starting number 9, so to say, despite the fact that you need these things, we'll send a message to them whether they like it or not. But at the same time, don't put it past this game being won off the bench, because Salah tends to come off the bench and belt one in. So you wouldn't be surprised if it's 0-0 and then all of a sudden Salah comes on and scores a few. But you got to think mentally what this does to Burnley, because they could hold us out for 60, 70 minutes, drain themselves, and then look to the bench and see Salah and Bobby warming up, and then it's a completely different prospect for him. So it's going to be interesting to see how Klopp plays it with his subs. I think that's where it's won today, I think.
Yeah, and Mick, just want to touch on Burnley, because Matt's just really well took us into it there. With Matip at the back, you've got the height there, haven't you, to deal with the long ball game that Burnley like to play.
Yeah, well, their front two is Barnes and Wood, isn't it? They just feed off little scraps, and
they're good at what they do.
Goal. Yeah,
they're very good at what they do.
It's effective. Like the fact that Sean Dyche has done what he has with that squad is testament to how good he is as a manager. But yeah, like I watched the Man United game against them, and they were, in my opinion, they were horrendous. So they can't get any worse than that. So I imagine an improved Burnley performance tonight, because they were just kicking it away. But even like closing stuff down, they weren't as tenacious in the tackle as they usually are, that you see from a Burnley squad who are 100% committed. So I imagine we'll see closer to that tonight. Obviously against the reigning champions, there's always a extra incentive to do well against us, unfortunately, and especially that coupled into the fact that we're not doing so well. It's kind of, that's why we've been dropping points recently, because everyone wants to beat us when you're not doing so well. It's kind of recipe for disaster. So I'm hoping tonight changes that, and we keep them out. Having Matip back's huge, because he's, like I say, 6'5". He's massive. He can just not head everything away. So I'm not worried about the aerial threat. But yeah, I'm just hoping we fucking do it tonight. But also nice to see Simicast back on the bench tonight as well. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so it's always refreshing when you see the injury list getting knocked off. But what we'll do, lads, we'll just leave it there. And in fact, quick score prediction, Mick, you sticking with the 1-0?
I'll go 2-0. I'll change.
Okay, 2-0. Matt, go on, Matt. Quick.
I'll go 1-0.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the 1-0 as well. So wherever you guys are watching it, enjoy it. Fingers crossed we get a win. Thanks to Martin Barton for joining us. Dan, Stu, Mike, Matt, we appreciate the comment as well, mate. Owen as well, appreciate it, mate. Rafa's pal, going with 3-1. Aaron 1992, thanks for joining us, mate. And I'm going to finish with Rafa's pal. Just win. That's all we want, boys. Just fucking win.
Fucking win.
We'll see you after the game.